Ooh. Similar loud.
You like that? The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
Oh my god, it's a 4-2-5 defense. All you gotta do is blitz more. All they gotta do is fire Eric Glenn, and then they can start winning again. They're so stupid.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifeatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.
Football talk with your boy Russell Wayne. Yes, how the hell is everybody doing out there? I know it's a beautiful day out there. It is a beautiful day in the state of Michigan. It's gorgeous out there. I don't know why the hell you guys would be watching me out here talking some Lions football right here. We're broadcasting live right now on the Detroit Lions News Podcast. Thank you to Joe Chapp and the boys for allowing us to broadcast into your platform right there. And we are approaching 50,000 villains. We may be there by the end of the day. We appreciate everybody for liking, sharing, and subscribing to this football content, into this football world that we are in, this 365 day a year football thing right here. And we are scaling back for the off season a little bit. Just want to prepare everybody that is. So we are still going to be putting football content up 365 days a year. We are still doing the live Monday night show, the main event, the main street, the main attraction, the main course, the main source for your NFL football content, and most importantly, Lions football content. And that's why we spell the main with the Lions main, because that is the main course, and they're going to be the main course this year. And yeah, we're going to be doing some video content as everything is coming out. But the question I want to ask is, where is the Lions roster post-draft? Now we've drafted. Now we know where everybody's going. And, guys, if you guys want to talk free agents, that's cool too. Put that into the comments. Hey, Tina. Hi, Tina. Guess what? I'm going to go see Janet Jackson. So what have you done for me lately? Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Bum, bam, bam, bam. Yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry. I went off on a tangent right there. Yes. Anyway, the Detroit Lions roster. So where do you want to start? I had it kind of teed up right here. I'm hoping that we get a Greg Rice in here at some point in time. That would be nice. And I love the shout out that Brad Holmes didn't know that he did it, but yeah, he's shouting out the villains and don't even know that he's shouting out the villains. And I love that. But we're going to start with the tight ends. And, I'm going to start with the strongest parts of the roster. The strongest parts of the roster, to me, these are just rock solid, right? You got Sam Laporta, possibly the best tight end in the NFL. And then you have Brock Wright, who the San Francisco 49ers tried but did not succeed. Probably one of the most solid number twos for what we want them to do. And then we still got James Mitchell, who was drafted in the 4th round by Brad Holmes. And then Shane Zylstra. I mean, this is a solid room. That's as solid as it can get. That's probably why they didn't go out and, address that in like free agency or even the draft. You got 4 more than capable guys that'll step in there. I mean, the Lions had a ridiculous amount of injury last year at tight end, and they seemed to make it through. And Sam Laporta is a special player, and we got a good one right there. So the tight end room, yeah, I'm loving it. What do you think of the tight end room? Let me know in the comments what you think of the Lions tight end room with Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, James Mitchell, and Shane Zylstra. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hey there, Scott Harrison. Thank you for watching the program today. I'm going through position by position, Scott, kind of looking at the Lions roster post-draft. Nothing's changed here on the tight end. Nothing's going to change there. So, let's see where we want to move to next. Let's go to the quarterback. Obviously, the only thing that is very intriguing with this quarterback, and I love the quarterback position. Thank you very much. And, you got Jared Goff, and we're going to get to something with Jared Goff a little bit later about him. I don't think that they're going to extend Jared Goff. We'll see. I could be wrong, and I would be happy if I was wrong, but I don't think they're going to extend Jared Goff this offseason. But we do have stability at that position. You got Jared Thomas, Michael W. Smith, Goff as your starting quarterback, and then you drafted Hendon Hooker in the 3rd round last year. It was one of the best quarterbacks to come out last year. And he is fully healed from his ACL injury and has been slinging the ball. And you're going to get to see the beautiful thing is y'all going to get to see a Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker is going to come in and he's going to be the camp darling, I think, because I don't think that you're going to see one snap with Jared Thomas Michael W. Smith Goff. Not one snap. Which means that in the preseason, oh yeah, your boy, Hendon Hooker. Yeah, he's been marinating on the sidelines. All 6'4", 225, 230-pound Hendon Hooker sitting back marinating. Oh, we're doing it like
It's my quarterback.
them boys up in Green Bay. We developing quarterbacks. And yeah, he's going to be the camp darling. He's going to light it up. I think he's going to get a couple rushing touchdowns. He's going to get a couple throwing touchdowns. He's going to go up against all of that secondary competition. You know, the second and third strings. He's going to tear them up. That Hendon Hooker and everyone. And then we're going to start dividing the Lions fan base because there's going to be people like, okay, you know, this is why we didn't extend Goff. And that's not the reason why they didn't extend Goff. And like I said, we're going to get there. We're going to get there, but we're very solid at quarterback. You know, I know that everybody laughs at Nate Sudfeld being a guy they're keeping around, but this guy keeps things in order. Thank you for that. I like the people that hit the like button on the video that they're watching. If you like football content and you're one of the people that are watching, hit that like button. It helps out and it's free. Thank you. But the quarterback, Nate Sudfeld, is underestimated. You know, he helps the other quarterbacks get ready. And that's what they've said is he's good in a locker room and he does that thing. So as a third quarterback, that's just going to be running the practice squad teams. You like the Lions quarterback room, Jared Goff, Hendon Hooker, and then Nate Sudfeld. I don't think you add anything there. I think, you know, you added some undrafted free agents. There you go. But what do you think of the Lions quarterback room? Put it into the comments what you would like to see them do. Right. One funky Lions fan says he might get a rushing TD or two, but he's not a run first guy. He's going to go through his progressions from the pocket guy and run when needed. Just because he can run doesn't mean that he wants to. And that is a very good point.
It's my quarterback.
He was very much on track to win the Heisman Trophy last year. Detroit Fan Man says, okay, so Hooker is kind of obvious for a potential camp darling. Who you got? Some same question on defense. We're going to get there. I'm going to go through position by position here, Detroit Fan Man. So we'll move on to the running backs room. The way too early depth chart, right? I'm starting with the most solid rooms because we didn't really do much here, right? You don't need to. The Lions already have the two best running backs in the NFC North. You know, this is two top 10 running backs in the NFL right here. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Two top 10 running backs in the NFL. And I don't think anybody would fight me on that. And then you're going to add Craig Reynolds. And Craig Reynolds is, you know, sure. I like Craig Reynolds has been nothing but solid. And he's been doing his things. But they did bring in a safety. And this guy's going to compete for that number 4. I think that he would win that number 4. He's going to find a spot on this team, Sione Vaki. But even though that he looked like a safety, you know, they showed him as a safety. The Lions drafted him. They're going to use him from his running back deal. But he's a do-it-all player. So he's going to be like the 4th running back. He's going to come in, be special teams. But there's the running back room right there. So, I mean, you got a running back room that's solid. You didn't change much to it. Gibbs, Montgomery, Craig Reynolds, and now you bring in Sione Vaki. I mean, does that push Jamar Jefferson off the 53 man or Zonovan Knight? Does that push him off the 53 man. They brought in that competition, baby. Let's go. I think that Sione Vaki's got a inside track because he can back up the safety position too. You know, as a fourth safety coming off the bench, he can do that. And I think that's why they drafted him, was because you can kind of get a 2-for-1 in position. You know, you want him playing running back. I think they drafted him as a running back. But, you know, in emergency situations, he could be an emergency safety. So there's the running back room. Solid. I mean, that's a top 5 unit in the entire NFL right there, maybe top 3. So let's fricking go. Let's go. And then let's move on to the offensive line. The offensive line. And you know what? Anything that you want to say about Goff, I understand. Yeah, well, it might be nice. Any quarterback could do good behind that offensive line. And that might be this offensive line will sit back there and they will protect any quarterback that comes in. I understand that. Any quarterback that comes into the system is also going to be complemented with an elite running game, an elite pass protection. We are completely set from the offensive line, the offensive line. You got Frank the Tank in the middle. And don't give me that injury crap. He had the injury last year. They told him that his toe was inoperable, and he's like, I don't care.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
I don't care. I'm just going to play on it. You know, it's just pain. And then he's still, you know, a top 3 center in the league. I don't know how many more years he's got left, but he's going to play this year. You got Taylor Decker. And then you got Penei Sewell. And I want to get into, you know what, I am going to move this into this segment right here. You got Penei Sewell, you got Kevin Zeitler at right guard, who's a Pro Bowler. You got Graham Glasgow, who's slated right in there. I mean, and you're deep. You know, Awasika. You got, you know, Dan Skipper's going to be in there. You got your 5th round draft pick from last year, Colby Sorsdahl. And then what you were able to do in the draft, getting Christian Mahogany. I mean, this is a starter level guard that could compete for the guard position, even with Graham Glasgow there. He will be competing with Graham Glasgow with a chance to win. Now, I think it's Graham Glasgow's job. I know that this regime loves to, you know, bring people along slow. So I don't expect them to win it, but I expect them to compete. So there's depth. And then they bring in the man beast. This is a total developmental project with Giovanni Manu. But you can't teach somebody how to be 350 pounds and 6'8" that can run a 4.9 40. Get out of here.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
So, I mean, he tested like it was like he was one of the top tackles, but the only knock on him was, you know, he played for, you know, a Canadian college. So, yeah, obviously the competition's way down, but that doesn't take away from the things that he can do. Yeah, he dominated that competition, obviously. But the thing is he dominated those men, you know, that, you know, and when he gets, and he's a 350-pound dude that's stronger than you. I don't care if you're an NFL player. You know, if you have the technique and everything of the NFL player, and then all of a sudden you just throw NFL talent in there, it's not like somebody's going to be much stronger than him. He's Goliath. I mean, I haven't seen anything like this. Isn't 350. This is not a 350-pound dude that's like with a beer gut. I mean, look at this guy. He's the Tongan nightmare. So I love where the Lions are at the offensive line. I mean, it looks good now. It looks good for the future. What do you think of the Lions' offensive line? I want to hear. Oh man, let's see. Hooked. Yeah. Okay, so Hooker got the potential on the camp. Okay, I'm trying to get back into these. I think Vaki will see most of his time on 1 and 2 kickoff return guys. I think he was drafted mainly because of his kick return rules. He's just a Swiss Army knife, one funky Lions fan. And I'm talking to you right here. And I feel you. He's going to be on special teams. I think he's going to be tackling on special teams. I think that when you see Sion Vaki, you're going to see him on that 4th down and 7 play where he's the one running out of the backfield, not CJ Moore, because he broke ankles as a running back. He averaged 7.2 yards a carry when they switched him. So this guy's kind of, who knows what he's even going to play. Steve says Jacobs a power back as Marshawn Lloyd, 7.1 yard per carry. Good luck, Gibbs and Montgomery. Jacobs is a good back, Steve. I'm not going to take anything away from Jacobs, but Gibbs is just as good. I mean, Gibbs is a different kind of dangerous. I mean, he ain't going to carry you. You ain't going to touch him. I mean, when you can make people miss the way that he does, he's special in that way. Now, David Montgomery, yeah, he'll make you miss. He'll make you miss. Actually, David Montgomery and Josh Jacobs are very similar. I think Josh Jacobs probably a little bit better of a just downhill back, but David Montgomery is a better out of the backfield catching the football. One funky Lions fan says that Mahogany was a steal. I think he's groomed to take over the right guard spot after this year. I think he has a shot. Honestly, this was really good. He's got that mentality.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
You know, that Jersey mentality. When they say Jersey dirtbag mentality, and they're using it as a compliment, it means that in these big games where, where it's getting kind of physical and everything, he ain't gonna back down from nobody. I love that Jersey mentality. I feel exactly what type of player he is, and that's what you need. You need maulers. So yeah, I think he's going to contribute this year. One funky Lions fan, right off the bat. He'll be in the rotation. But one thing I wanted to talk about right here is and say what you want, laugh at me. It used to be laughed at when you used Lions and the word Super Bowl in the same sentence. That used to be hit with laughter. Maybe Steve's out there laughing, but none of the Lions fans are laughing. And I believe, you can say what you want about Goff, Gibbs, or whatever, right? But I believe this statement to be true. Lions are a Super Bowl contender as long as Sewell is here. And they got him locked up for 6 years. And I believe this statement because you can say whatever you want about Jahmyr Gibbs. I can stop him, whatever. We got the suit. But this is the best tackle in football at 23 years old. And he's only going to get better. And he is special. When they selected him in 2021, when they talk about franchise changing picks. I mean, I love me some Amon-Ra St. Brown. Don't get me wrong. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, baby. Give the sun god his money. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. But this right here, this is a leader. This is the leader of the Lions right here. Penei Sewell, as long as Penei Sewell is on this team, and this extension doesn't start until after his 5th year is done. So he's got 6 years left here. And all 6 of the years that Penei Sewell is here, the Lions will contend for a Super Bowl. Now, I hope that they can win a couple in that span. But every year that Penei Sewell is here, they will have a chance because he's the best. They latched on to a generational, he's Joe Thomas. He is as good as any tackle ever. And we're going to get to witness his entire career. barring injury, he is awesome. Steve say Lions might bite some kneecaps off, but Jacobs will break and snap defense knees and ankles. Hey, Steve, me and you can have this conversation right here. The Lions did some things to counter that. So even if you want to go out there, and I like your draft, okay? I like that you got guys that Barton, the left tackle. You guys draft well. You guys are always going to be good. I'll give you your due. But the Lions are really good right now. I don't think they'll be breaking too many ankles in there because DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil and Aiden Hutchinson are going to be collapsing the pocket. I'm not saying that to troll the Packers. That's everybody. That's everybody. They will be collapsing the pocket with that defensive line. So you got better there. Well, we got better at the spot that you got better. Okay. So we both got better. So I believe that we will stop you. I don't think that Jacobs is going to have good games against the Lions because the Lions were already a top 5 run stuffing team without DJ Reader. And DJ Reader is the best in the NFL at stopping the run. That's what he does. Argue with me about Chris Jones, whatever. A healthy DJ Reader is a top 3, no lower than 3 defensive tackle. And you're going to put him next to Aleem. That's how you're going to stop Josh Jacobs. Let's see. I definitely see Vaki as a man on a putting team. Yeah, he's going to find a spot. I don't know if he's going to be an impact player for the Lions, but he's going to have a spot being as versatile as he is. You think Manu is a mammoth and big? We got a guy that's 6'9", 370, Caleb Jones, and he's an OT. Hey, go get these projects. You can't teach that, Steve. I understand it. But the thing about Manu is he's 350 pounds, but he's cut. I mean, he's 350 pounds at 10% body fat. Detroit Fan Man says Sewell is 23 years old, already totally acceptable to hire a sculptor, design the future statue next to Barry. I believe it. That's where we're at right now, guys. And you know what, Steve? If you're there, and I believe this to be true as well, that the NFC North was the most improved division in the NFL through the draft. Like the teams that are taking the steps are taking the steps. You could very well see if the Vikings can play better than I think they're going to play. You could actually see a division that has all 4 teams. All 4 teams from the NFC North. So Steve says our guy isn't cut. He's fat and large. So I lose this way. Hey, it's all right though. But the thing is like you bring your guy, you're 6'9", 370. You get him into the Green Bay Packer, your off-season program. He could lose 20 pounds and then you're in the same boat. But Manu is a Tongan player. And it just seems like these, I think of Roman Reigns.
Acknowledge me.
But, they have a work ethic about them. Him and Penei Sewell, I see getting along together because, all of the stuff that he doesn't know about the NFL, I believe that he will learn. I believe that will be a good pick eventually. But I don't think, as far as Giovanni Manu coming out, and playing in 2024 and dominating some Green Bay Packers, that's probably not going to happen. Manu's probably going to be spending most of the season protected on the practice squad. Maybe he'll get in by the end of the season on a little more of a depth thing, but we'll see. That's where we're at. Those are our depth pieces. That's the beautiful thing is Manu doesn't have to come in and play right away. We already have really good starters and really good backups. So he's going to come in as a depth piece. And And there you go. And there you go. So the question that I asked out there, if you want to answer it, is Lions are a Super Bowl contender as long as Sewell is here. Is that a true statement? Let me know in the comments. I want to know what you think. It doesn't matter what I think. But I believe this statement. I do. Because he is that good. Now we're going to move positions. We've been talking about where the rosters are after the draft and undrafted free agents, and that's where we're at right here. And next, I'm just sticking with the offense right here, the wide receivers. Now obviously the big news, and I love the fact that it happened before the draft, was they re-sign Amon-Ra St. Brown, $30 million a year deal. Everybody knows about it, but they did it right before the draft. They sent a loud message to everybody that was drafted by the Lions that says that doesn't matter where you're drafted, if you work hard and you can become this, and then you could end up getting a contract like this, or you could get, you could get a contract like this, right? I love the fact that they got those deals done right before the draft. And then in a draft, I mean, you got Jameson Williams going into his third year. Now, Brad Holmes has a knack for third-year guys taking incredible jumps, because I have Derek Barnes on line one, and then I have Ifeatu Melifonwu on line 2, and Aleem McNeil is on line 3. So the Lions have been drafting and developing. So I'm expecting Jameson Williams to slide right into that number 2 wide receiver role just fine. And, instead of getting 6 to 8 targets a game, I think that he's going to get 8 to 10 targets a game. They're going to uptick his stuff. There is no Josh Reynolds anymore. And I think they didn't draft a wide receiver because his targets are going to get evenly distributed in between Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jameson. They're gonna be fine in that production. And then you have Donovan Peoples-Jones and Khalif Raymond as depth. You still got Green from last year that you drafted, and Tom Kennedy. You could probably pull him up at any point in time and he could come in. Tom Kennedy. But at wide receiver, if the Lions wanted to add somebody in free agency, I'm not gonna kill you. I mean, there's a lot of podcasters that are out there that are just, oh my God, they got to go out there. They didn't do anything, and apparently this kid that they paid $225,000 guarantee to is an UDFA out of Illinois. Is pretty good. Williams, I think is. So I like the wide receiver position. You got the best wide receiver in the NFL, top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Jameson Williams is a threat. So I like that. So moving on to the defensive side of the ball. Well, before I do that, what do you think of the wide receiver room? I got to ask you this question because, I may be good with it, but I want to know if you're good with it. Do you think that the Lions need to add somebody? Or do you like the wide receiver room that has this rookie Williams with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Khalif Raymond, Donovan Peoples-Jones? Is that going to be good enough, or do they need to get somebody? Do they need to go out into free agency and get somebody? Because I got money. I got $26 million. Ain't going to cost that much to sign the whole draft class. So what do you think out there? Let me get into some of these comments. How much time have I got left? I got about 15 minutes left before I turn into a pumpkin. Mr. Kennedy. Yeah. Let's see. Why do you always assume your guys are, why do you assume that you're going to the NFC Championship? I do. Because my team has Penei Sewell, and Penei Sewell might be the best football player in the NFL. And I know he doesn't play a sexy position, but this is why. This is why. I believe that the Lions have a Super Bowl roster. And are you just gonna, is it just you and you guys are just ripping on me? Okay. Real off season for JMO. How you feeling? I feel like he's gonna take the step. This is the Brad Holmes, the way they've been developing players, Randall. It's the third year. The third year is where they take that big jump. I'm expecting a big jump out of JMO. I'm expecting a big jump out of Josh Pascal at defensive end. You know, he was coming out a little bit last year, but I think he could full on break out this year. And that's what you're hoping for. You're drafting and developing guys, right? So, okay. So moving on to our defense right there. Let me get in here. All right. We'll start with the defensive line. I only put defensive end, but I don't have a defensive line slide. So we'll start right here with defensive ends. And what the Lions have are a lot of quality guys. But I know that everybody was really looking for somebody opposite of Hutchinson. Hutchinson is a 90. He's going to take 90% of the snaps. And then you got John Kaminsky. And you got James Houston, whom they brought back. Then you got Josh Pascal. And they brought in Marcus Davenport as a depth piece. I don't really expect too much out of him, but he's a rotational piece. So you got Aiden Hutchinson on one side giving you 90%, and then you're going to have a rotation that looks like you got Kaminsky, Houston, Pascal, and Davenport are going to be in there. And then in the middle, you know, and they did draft in the middle, and I'll start with our draft pick right here in the middle, that they were able to select Mekhi Wingo from LSU. And you're talking about a pass rushing defensive tackle, a lot like Josh Pascal. He offers you value as a pass rusher from the middle. And from the outside, if he's playing the end position, he'll offer, you know, run stopping ability. So rough against a run right there. And then you got DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil in the middle, Broderick Martin as a depth piece. So you're looking good from the defensive line position. I mean, if you want to add another pass rusher, I mean, you're not going to hurt my feelings. So what do you think of the Lions defensive line, defensive ends? Do you think they need to add anybody? Let me know. Put that into the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Then the Lions at linebacker. They didn't do much at linebacker. I think that the Lions are really solid here. What do you think of the linebackers? You got Jack Campbell, who took over the starting position, had 97 tackles last year. You drafted him. I mean, he's your future right there. You got Derek Barnes, who is excellent last year. Alex Anzalone, who was excellent last year. You got Malcolm Rodriguez offering you depth. And you like that. You got Jalen Reeves-Maven, who offers you depth and special teams. So Lions looking really good at linebacker. I can't really see wanting to need any roster spots or anything, go out and sign anybody else. You got the guys under contract already that you already need. So I am digging that. So Sarah, are you trying to have like a fight? My point is that your coach doesn't like to take a point. It's go big or go nothing. That's how points work out of that. Hey, Sarah, that is not, they did not lose the game because they didn't take the points. They lost the game because the guys that they put into the positions to make the plays didn't make the plays. The plays were there to be made. There's a difference than going for it and then falling down and looking dumb. That's like there was 2 4th down plays. They dropped back. and they put a pass on the hands. The play wasn't executed. It's not an excuse. It's what happened. It is what it is, but it isn't. I mean, you can't go back and micromanage that, and you won't understand it. I don't expect you to understand it, because that's what happens when you have an aggressive coach, and we're living with it. We're living with our aggressive coach. But just so you know, how do you win games? By having the most points at the end of the game. You do. And the Lions made it to the NFC Championship, which is farther than any other team in the NFC North. They were by far the best team in the NFC North last year, and they built upon what they did last year. And every other team in the NFC North got better. There is no doubt. I am not taking it. Yeah, like, I've been hard on the Vikings, but the Vikings got a lot better. I still believe the Vikings are going to be in the bottom of the division, but who knows? Maybe J.J. McCarthy will come in and hit the ground running. I mean, and that's what you're hoping for. You definitely got the playmakers to do it. Think of the playmakers that are in the NFC North now. It's freaking ridiculous how many great playmakers there are. I got to get through the rest of this thing in like 7 minutes, though, Sarah. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Sarah, get a hold of Mike in the chat. I know he's been trying to get a hold of you, but I am going to break down the Vikings draft class, and I would love to have you on that show, because I've been pretty real when it comes with it. You know what? And I thought that Quessy had, since I've known you, Sarah, this week, these were the best few days that I've ever seen Quessy have. Quessy made the team a lot better, for sure. I want to get into the Lions secondary right now. And like, if you look back, and I want to make an excuse. Here you go, Sarah. I'm going to make an excuse. I'm going to make an excuse here. And I will. This will be hopefully around this time. If we can just record it, I'll record that at your leisure, Sarah, so we can just set up a time that works out for both of us, and we'll record that. I don't want to do that live. I want to break down your whole thing. So, but getting into the Lions secondary now this was the weakness. I'm going to make an excuse last year of why the Lions lost in the NFC Championship. It was because of horrible secondary play. It was absolutely horrendous secondary play. You know, you got Kendall Vildor out there having balls bounce off of his face mask. And Detroit Fan Man says, why live? Fan Man, let me know once you get a hold of us too. I'm just going to record it just so I can produce it. So I can, bring in some cool graphics, so I can bring in pictures of the guys that we're talking about and all that stuff. And this is cool the way that I'm doing it, but I want to make it all nice. So last year our secondary was completely bad. So what'd they do? They fired everybody. First of all, everybody's fired. And then they were able to acquire Carlton Davis with a 3rd round pick. And then they were able to bring in Amik Robertson from the Raiders. And both of these guys are good secondary pieces. And actually, both of these guys are better than anything that we had on our team last year. So that was an instant upgrade. They brought back Emmanuel Mosley. I mean, I'm not really expecting anything right there when it comes to the secondary with Emmanuel Mosley. But if he does come back, it didn't cost you anything, and he can bring you starter level play in the secondary. So, but they weren't done. I mean, when Brad Holmes needs to overhaul a position group, he doesn't mess around. It's like, y'all fired. We're bringing in Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson, and then we're going to draft Terrion Arnold, who is arguably the best cornerback in this year's draft. Excellent man cover corner. So if you can really see how they want to play football right there. And then they weren't even done with that. Then they doubled down and got the second best corner on their draft board in Ennis the menace, Rakestraw. So when I look at the overall secondary, I mean, as the weakest point from last year's draft to this point, that's what you really wanted to see. So any of the NFC North teams that were, killing us on these long passes and everything, and they think they can just do it again, it's going to be different. That backfield's going to look different. You're not going to be able to use tape to pull that out. And that's going to be a good thing. I like that they did that. 0 of the guys that are on our team, you're going to have tape running in our defense, which is great. And people can argue all day about, are these really the 2 best corners in the draft? For what we do and what we're trying to do, they are. They're the best cornerbacks in this draft class. Quinyon Mitchell is a zone corner. It's nothing against Quinyon Mitchell. We just don't want to play like that. We want to play sticky man, blasting you up at the line of scrimmage. We want to keep use the 5 yards to our advantage and give our pass rushers, where the strength of our team is, time to collapse the pocket and mess the play up. That's the style they want to get into. And when they're playing winning brand of football, that's what it's going to look like. And they got great corners to do that. And this Rakestraw, and I mean, these guys are the 2 best corners that were in the SEC. They were playing all the best wide receivers that just got drafted. So that's what the entire roster really looks like now. And that's where the biggest change is for the Detroit Lions this year, is in the secondary. It's going to be unrecognizable. When you got a team that was in the top 5 in pressures and they weren't able to get home to the quarterback, a lot of that had to do with horrible cornerback play. When you're letting a guy run down field like that and get up, they just need to cover. And I believe they've improved the secondary by 2 to 3 seconds. 2 to 3 seconds. And tell me, you give Aiden Hutchinson, how many of the pressures that Aiden Hutchinson got last year do you think he would have gotten home on if the secondary was able to cover for 2 to 3 more seconds? Let that sink in and tell me that it isn't improved. So, oh man, I don't have time. I don't have time to get into this last one right here, but I will tell you that we will be talking about it tomorrow. Tomorrow, thank you. First of all, let me know what you think about the Lions secondary. Did they do enough? Did they overkill it? Do they still need to go into free agency and do more stuff? What do you think of the Lions secondary? Have they done enough to, finish this championship roster? There's not much holes where I would want to go out and change anything, maybe a Stephon Gilmore, but you're going to be squeezing some of these young guys that you're developing off the bottom of the roster at that point. So right now you have a good balance. I believe that the roster is pretty set. If they want to they have money to make a couple of pickups if they want to spend a little bit of money to push them over the edge. But I don't know what's really out there. But we're going to discuss that tomorrow. We're going to discuss what players are out there in free agency that could make the Lions better, even after the draft right here, that wouldn't sacrifice the back end of our roster. And another thing I wanted to talk about was the Jared Goff. I want to get to this, the positional villain right here. The Lions may use the franchise tag on Goff, and I want to help prepare you guys for that. Let me know what you think about that. So it's faith, family, and football right here. Thank you for being my family. Thank you for being my family. This is my church. I'm proud of my church. They do an excellent job at outreach. And if you use the link that's in our description right now, that's our giving link. These guys are doing a great job at outreach and helping the people in the community of Genesee County. So if you use that link, that's what you're helping with. You're helping the outreach in Genesee County, and God bless you for that. So that's faith, family, and football. It's got to be in that order. Faith, family, and football. Now, the family and football, that's easy. You guys are my family. You guys are my 365 family. I love Sarah, even though she loves the Vikings. I'm still friends with Sarah because we can talk football and not be enemies, do a little bit of trash talk, and we love this. We love this. You guys are my family. I love talking football with you guys every day. Now, we are shrinking this back a little bit. So Mike and I are going to be doing our every Monday show that Mike hosts. I'm just the jabroni in the background right there, but that is me right there with the lion. That's my ripped arm. No, it isn't. But every Monday at 7 p.m., you can catch the main event football show right there. And we're going to be breaking down all of the live stuff. That's going to be our only live one of the week. I'm going to finish out this week of lives, and then I'm just going to be making videos. And then you can join us. So may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you. Until we meet again for Football Talk with Russell Wayne. God bless you.